If you want to experience the rawest, most dangerous, and most spectacular wilderness on planet Earth, you must travel to the golden plains of Tanzania in East Africa. Imagine standing in the middle of a vast, endless ocean of tall, golden yellow grass. You look up at the sky, and there are absolutely no tall, concrete buildings. There are no gray paved highways. There are no metal power lines. There is only a massive, blinding, bright yellow sun beating down on the dry brown earth. Suddenly, the tall yellow grass moves. You see the dark, terrifying face of a giant male lion. It opens its massive jaws, revealing long, sharp white teeth, and releases a deep, thunderous roar that physically vibrates in your chest. You look to the horizon, and you see a massive gray elephant pulling green leaves from a tall, flat-topped acacia tree. A fast spotted cheetah runs like lightning across the dirt, hunting a running herd of black and white striped zebras. Welcome to the Serengeti. Welcome to the ultimate kingdom of wild animals. For wealthy tourists from around the world, this breathtaking landscape is a luxury safari vacation. They ride in heavy, green, metal 4x4 trucks. They hold expensive digital cameras with massive telephoto lenses, taking beautiful photographs of the wild animals from the safety of their metal cars. But for the indigenous people who actually live here, deep in the tall grass, this is not a safari. This is their backyard. This is their kitchen. This is their permanent home. They are the legendary Maasai people. To understand how human beings can survive completely off the grid in a land entirely ruled by apex predators, you must look at the brilliant, vibrant red color of their clothing. In a landscape filled with yellow grass and brown dirt, the Maasai warriors stand out like bright beacons of fire. A tall, incredibly athletic young Maasai man walks proudly through the golden grass. He wears a traditional, bright red and blue square-patterned cloth wrapped tightly around his shoulders. He does not carry a heavy metal hunting rifle. He carries a simple, hand-carved wooden stick and a long, sharp metal spear. The bright red cloth is not just for decoration. In the wild savanna, the color red is a powerful psychological weapon. The giant lions and the massive elephants recognize this bright red color from miles away. They know that the humans wearing the red cloth are fierce, fearless warriors who will fight to the death to protect their animals. And for the Maasai people, animals are absolutely everything. They do not measure their wealth with green paper money or shiny gold coins. Their entire economy, their social status, and their survival is based on one specific animal: the dark brown and white cow. If you visit a traditional Maasai village called a boma, you will see a massive herd of hundreds of cows. The architecture of the village is built purely for defense. The small, round houses are built in a tight circle. The walls of the houses are made entirely of a mixture of dry brown dirt, yellow grass, and wet cow manure, which bakes hard like concrete in the hot African sun. Surrounding the entire village is a massive, thick wall made of sharp adigi, dangerous, thorny acacia branches. This thick wall of sharp wooden thorns is the only thing protecting the sleeping children and the valuable cows from the hungry lions and fast leopards prowling outside in the dark night. To survive the hot, dry, exhausting climate of the savanna, the Maasai diet is intensely rich in protein and fat. In the early morning, before the bright sun rises, the local women use round wooden bowls to milk the brown cows. They drink the warm, thick, fresh, white milk. But during times of severe drought, when the rain refuses to fall and the green grass turns to dry yellow dust, the cows stop producing white milk. To survive this terrifying dry season, the Maasai practice an ancient, incredible survival technique. A warrior uses a small, sharp arrow to quickly pierce the thick neck vein of a healthy cow. He collects the bright red blood in a wooden gourd and then quickly covers the small wound with wet mud to heal the animal. He mixes the warm red blood with the white milk. Drinking this thick, pink liquid provides a massive, immediate rush of heavy calories, salt, and essential iron, allowing the human body to survive the brutal, exhausting heat of the desert sun. It is the absolute raw taste of survival. But the savanna is not always a dry, yellow desert. When the heavy, dark storm clouds finally roll across the massive sky, they drop millions of gallons of torrential, violent rain. The dry brown dirt instantly explodes into a vibrant, glowing ocean of thick green grass. And this green grass triggers the greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth: the Great Migration. If you stand on a high rocky hill, you will look down and see an unbelievable, massive black river moving across the green plains. It is a massive herd of more than 1 million dark gray wildebeests. They run together, kicking up a massive cloud of brown dust. They are following the rain, searching for fresh green grass, but to reach the new grass, they must cross the Mara River. The river is deep, fast, and filled with muddy brown water. And hiding just beneath the surface of the muddy water are hundreds of massive, terrifying, giant green crocodiles. These ancient giant reptiles have thick, heavy armor and massive jaws filled with razor-sharp white teeth. The wildebeests jump wildly into the rushing brown water, swimming frantically toward the other side. The giant crocodiles launch themselves out of the water, snapping their massive jaws, dragging the struggling animals down into the dark mud. It is a violent, chaotic, and brutal display of raw nature. For the Maasai people watching from the hills, this massive migration is a reminder of the circle of life. Death feeds the river feeds the grass, and the grass feeds their beloved cows. Everything is perfectly, beautifully connected. When the sun finally sets over the savanna, turning the entire sky into a blinding, glowing canvas of bright orange, deep red, and dark purple, the African night comes alive. There is no electric city noise here. There are no street lights. The village gathers in the dark. They light a bright, roaring orange wood fire. The young Maasai warriors begin their traditional, famous jumping dance. They form a circle in the dark. They wear their bright red clothes and heavy white beaded necklaces. They sing a deep, rhythmic, echoing chant that vibrates in the cold night air. One by one, a warrior steps into the center of the circle. He keeps his body perfectly straight, and he jumps incredibly high into the air, over and over again. The higher he jumps, the more strength and power he proves to the village. The sound of their heavy feet hitting the dry dirt echoes across the dark plains. It is a powerful, beautiful celebration of human strength. But today, this wild, ancient paradise is facing a terrifying, quiet threat. The modern world is shrinking the wild savanna. Due to severe global climate change, the terrible dry droughts are lasting longer. The vital, life-saving watering holes are drying up into cracked, empty gray mud. Without water, the green grass dies, and without grass, the precious brown cows begin to starve. At the same time, massive foreign tourism companies are building more and more luxury hotels inside the national parks. The government creates strict imaginary lines, telling the nomadic Maasai people where they can and cannot walk with their animals. The traditional way of life is being squeezed into smaller and smaller patches of dry dirt. And the young generation is feeling the powerful, magnetic pull of the modern concrete cities. Young Maasai teenagers, holding glowing digital smartphones under the acacia trees, watch bright videos of the massive, bustling, modern city of Dar es Salaam. They see fast metal cars, bright neon lights, and tall, concrete universities. Many of these young people are packing their bags. They trade their bright red traditional cloth for modern blue jeans and white sneakers. They board loud, heavy metal buses, leaving the wild, golden plains to seek higher-paying jobs in the crowded, noisy city. As the youth leave the traditional villages, the older generation sits by the smoking orange fire, wondering what will happen to their ancient culture. Will the bright red cloth eventually disappear from the savanna? Will the deep, echoing songs of the warriors be replaced by the sound of heavy diesel engines? It is a heavy, painful reality. But if you look into the dark, incredibly focused eyes of a Maasai elder, holding his wooden stick and looking out across the vast, empty plains, you will see an unbreakable, fierce pride. These are the people who looked at a land filled with giant lions, massive elephants, and deadly crocodiles, and decided to call it home. To live in Tanzania is to accept that you are a part of the food chain, not the master of it. It is the smell of dry dust and burning wood fire. It is the terrifying, beautiful sound of a lion roaring in the pitch-black night. We build massive concrete walls and digital screens to separate ourselves from the wild animals. But the Maasai do not hide. They wear bright red. They walk into the tall grass, and they stand side by side with the kings of the savanna.